Okay, good afternoon. Kami ang Group 6 at ang title namin ay Photocopy and Photocopier Examination. In this case of typewritten documents, photocopied documents may obtain elements likely to identify the source of original document, the model of machine, and the specific machine. So, dito sa photocopy and photocopier examination, yung mga typewritten documents, may mga elements daw yun na malalaman natin at madidetect natin kung ito ba ay original document o kung sang model ng machine ba ito nanggaling at kung anong uri ng machine ito na-produce. What can be determined from copy machine identification? Identify a specific copy machine that produce a photocopy. Ma-identify daw natin dito kung saan ba nanggaling yung isang photocopy o kung anong machine yung pinagmulan ng isang photocopy. Trace the copy machine that produce a color photocopy. Yun, mate-trace din daw natin kung isang machine ito na produce. Identify the photocopy process used to make a photocopy. Yun, malalaman din natin dito kung paano ba pinaprocess, kung bakit nakakagawa ng isang photocopy o kung bakit nakakapag-produce ng isang photocopy. Determine if two photocopies were produced on the same photocopy machine. Yun, malalaman din daw natin dito kung halimbawa ang dalawang photocopy ay kung saan nanggaling itong machine. Halimbawa, ang isa ay sa ibang brand o sa ibang model ng machine. Ang isa ay dun sa mas magandang quality o mas magandang standard na quality ng printing. Photocopier identification. Most modern day photocopying machines operate in a more or less similar fashions. Yun, ngayong panahon, yung mga photocopying machines ay na-operate nagkakapare-pare sila ng operation kung paano mag-produce ng isang photocopying paper. Ang pinagkakaiba lang nila, halimbawa, sa iba't ibang model o brand ng isang printer, nagkakaiba-iba lang yung standard o quality ng isang papel o quality ng isang image kung paano ito na ipiprint. Yon, ito na yung parang pinaka first step na process kung paano nagpo-produce ng isang photocopies. The image of the document to be copied is captured by camera lens. Yon, una nagsisimula daw yun sa pag-captured ng camera lens ng isang printer and transferred to a cylindrical drum usually coated with a light sensitive substance as selenium. Yon, tapos matatransfer daw ito sa isang cylindrical drum na isang part ng printer na nababalutan ng light sensitive substance na ang tawag ay ang selenium. The image of a document transferred to the drum is made up of light and dark areas that will create similar or corresponding areas. Yun daw imahe na natatransfer dun sa drum na part ng isang printer ay binubuo ng may matitingkad at may medyo dark na printing. Tapos bumubuo daw ito ng parang halimbawa sa isang pagka nagpe-print kung saan tayo, kung anong parte o kung anong paraan kung nasaan yung mga letra, pagka ipinrint, parang hindi nababago, doon at doon pa din yung pupunta. Yun pa din ang kalalabasan ng isang printing. Tapos ang next, this toner is transferred to a piece of paper that will then be subjected to a fixing process. Yon. Tapos pagkatapos naman yung toner ay matatransferred na sa isang piraso ng papel at doon magsisimula yung parang finishing printing. Usually in the form of heat, which fuses and attaches the toner to the paper. Yon, gamit daw yung parang init ng printer, yung toner kumakapit dun sa papel kaya nakakapag-produce ng printing paper o yung finishing printing photocopies. Different makes of machines as well as different models within a manufacturer's line may leave behind on the photocopy characteristic. Yun nga daw yung iba't ibang klase ng paggagawa ng isang machine o ng isang printing machine o pagkakaiba ng mga model nito ay parang nag-iiba-iba ang quality ng kanilang pagpiprint, nag-iiba-iba ang standard o paraan ng kanilang pagpiprint. Halimbawa, merong ang quality ay mas malinaw, meron naman ng iba na medyo nagpe-fade na yung kulay ng pagka-print. Next ay, if two or more different photocopy machines have been used in its lineage, the examination is more difficult. Yun, pagka daw halimbawa hanggat nag-i-evolve o dumarami na yung mga photocopy printer natin o yung mga printer machine, hanggat sa gumaganda ang standard o quality ng kanilang printing, mas mahihirapan daw yung mga examiner na mag-examine ng mga question document. Dahil syempre sa kung ano nga namang ganda ng ipinrint, hindi mo nga naman masusuri kung ito ba'y original o photocopies. Today, dry photocopy systems provide difficult problems for the question document examiner. Yun nga, yung mga dry photocopy natin na napoproduce, yung mga sobrang gaganda na ng quality, kaya medyo parang nahihirapan na yung ating question document examiner. Nahihirapan ng matukoy kung ito ba'y original o hindi. Next. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police Forensic Laboratory has discovered that particular type of printers. Yun daw Royal Canadian Mounted Police Forensic Laboratory ay nakadiscover ng mga type ng printer. Ang una ay yung dot matrix printers, sunod ay inkjet printers at saka thermal transfer color printer. Yan, ito ang itsura ng dot matrix color printer. Yan, kung makikita nyo. Deeper at the shape of the pin cross section, the diameters of pin and impressions they produce. Yun daw isang question document. Malalaman natin kung ito ay photocopies na nanggaling sa dot matrix color printer base dun sa yung shape of the pin cross section. Yun, malalaman ito pagka halimbawa dinala ng isang submitter sa isang laboratory para i-examine. Tsaka dito sa dot matrix color printer, pagka nag-photocopy ka ng para masuri mo na kung original ba o photocopies na ito ay nanggaling dito sa dot matrix color printer, ay kailangan magka-copy ka ng halimbawa mga 10 photocopies para malaman mo kung ito ay dito nanggaling. Makikita mo yun dahil sa pagka-copy mo dito ng mga document, minsan nagmamalfunction at saka nagkakaroon ng defect. Nagkakaroon dito sa dot matrix ng misalignment. Parang yung mga letra hindi nagkakapantay-pantay pagka nag-ulit ng print. And next, inkjet color printer differs by the type of ink used, the presence of ink spatter, evidence of dragging, and the presence of gaps in areas that should be solved. Dito naman sa inkjet color printer, yan yung mga Epson, Canon, yung mga magagandang quality ng printer. Pagka tinest mo naman kung ito'y galing dito sa printer na to, ito'y may defect. Pagka halimbawa ay yung sa isang papel ay parang sumusobra yung ink, yung parang naglalahok na sa papel ang ink pagka tinest mo. Tsaka dito halimbawa nagtest ka ng mga 10 photocopies, paulit-ulit mo yung ipiprint para malaman mo kung ito ba'y dito nang galing. Medyo yung kapal ng letra na ipiprint dito, yung kung gaano ito kakapal, para nag-iiba-iba ang shape. Yung ang iba may manipis, ang iba may makapal. Hindi na nagiging maganda ang print, kaya dito mo malalaman kung gayon yung mga resulta ng iyong na photocopy o na print. Di ibig sabihin dito ito nanggaling sa inkjet color printer. And next, ito namang thermal transfer color printer. Ito yung parang mga nasa cashier. Born out of thermal elements in the print head, the effects of faulty ribbon advance mechanisms, and the presence of banding. Ito namang thermal transfer color printer, malalaman mo kung ito dito galing, kung dito ito pinrint o dito ito pinroduce. Kung halimbawa yung kulay ng isang letra o ng kulay ng document ay para nagpe-fade na. Halimbawa, yung sa mga resibo makikita naman natin pagka hindi maganda yung sa kadamihan ng ipinoproduce niyang document o sa kadamihan ng pinoproduce niyang resibo, parang nagpe-fade na yung ibang kulay. Kaya malalaman natin base sa gayong paraan kung itong document ay nanggaling sa thermal transfer color printer. Yung banding, the wrong kind of gradient consisting of 2 or more lines of the same color but different brightness. Yun nga, yung sinabi ko, yun ang tawag doon ay banding. Yung defect ng thermal transfer printer. Yun ang tawag ng pag nagmamalfunction ito. Next ay photocopy to photocopy examination. Question photocopies may be examined visually for individual characteristic trash marks that may be made because of dirt, scratches, and other extraneous marks on the surface of the drum, cover, glass plate, or camera lens. Yun daw mga question photocopies, may examine daw natin yun base sa, kumbaga in visually, base sa individual na characteristic. Halimbawa, nagcopy tayo ng dalawang document. Nag-xerox tayo ng dalawang document. Minsan pag nagse-xerox tayo, may makikita tayo sa isang papel na yung parang may mga tuldok-tuldok. Yun yung parang pinaka-trash marks o yung mga dirt o scratches ng printer. Halimbawa sa bubog, yun sa glass plate ng isang printer. May mga kapit-kapit na dumi doon. Parang doon natin makikita yung mga trash mark, makikita natin sa isang document. Pag pinagtabi mo yung isang document, malalaman mo kung halimbawa ay kung parehas silang doon ang galing sa isang printer na yun. Doon natin masusuri kung pare-parehas ba ng kinakalabasan ng mga defect, pare-parehas ng mga malfunction. Pag nakikita natin ay halimbawa yung isang document ay nakita natin pag nagpiprint tayo pare-parehas halos lahat nagmi-misalignment ang letter, di ibig sabihin yun ay nanggaling dun sa ano nga yung isang printer, sa dot matrix printer. Pag naman halimbawa ito ay yung parang numinipis ang mga letra, di ito ay nanggaling dun sa inkjet. Pag naman medyo nagpe-fade na ang kulay, di masusuri natin na ito ay galing dito sa thermal transfer printer. A comparison of these marks or the question document with those marks made by a specific machine will serve to identify or eliminate that that particular machine as the source of the document in question. Yun nga, sabi ko kanina, malalaman nga natin, depende sa mga marks o scratches ng isang document kung saan ba nanggaling itong machine. Ma-identify natin kung saan ito pinroduce ang isang photocopy. Evidence submission. Because of the usually large physical size of many photocopiers, it is often impractical to transport machine to the laboratory. Yun, dahil daw sa siyempre, sobrang lalaki naman ng ating mga machine na ginagamit para sa mga photocopies. Ito daw ay parang impractical daw ito kung halimbawa ipagpapalipat-lipat natin o dadalhin natin ito sa laboratorio. The submitter can run sheets of plain paper through the photocopier and submit those to the laboratory. So, ang ginagawa daw ng submitter, nag-aano siya ng plain sheets of paper, tapos ipiniprint ito sa photocopier machine at yun ang isinasubmit sa laboratory para ma-examine. The photosensitive drum of some machines may copy 3 or more sheets of paper before it has made a complete revolution. Yun daw photosensitive drum, yung binanggit ko kanina na drum na na part ng printer. Bago daw ito may mabago sa isang photocopy na document, kailangan daw mga 3 pataas ang maipiprint doon bago natin masuri yung isang document kung ito'y nanggaling ba doon sa isang printer. Hindi naman pwede na magte-test lang tayo ng halimbawa 2 papel, ipiprint natin doon. Hindi natin basta makikita yung mga stretch marks at saka yung mga dirt, yung mga dumi ng isang document kung kakaunti yung ipiprint natin. Syempre, kailangan mas marami ang ipiprint natin para mas masuri natin ng mas mabuti. Thank you.
Ako po si Maria Rosario Joan B. Castor at ito po ang continuation ng amin pong report. Photocopy forgery. When the document examiner undertakes the examination of a photocopy in pursuit of a determination as to the genuineness of the original signature as represented by the photocopy, this examination must necessarily include significant thought as to the possibility that a genuine can be affixed to a fraudulent document and the composite or paste up and photocopied. Kapag naman daw po ang isang document examiner ay nag-undertake o nag-examine sa katunayan or originality ng isang signature na nasa photocopy or document, kailangan din na i-include yung posibilidad na peke, paste up or photocopied ang signature na nasa document or photocopy. Photocopies can be prepared from a composite of parts of 2 or more documents which when copied can appear to be reproduction of a single document. Sa photocopies daw, pwede daw siyang composite or combination ng isa o higit pang dokumento na maaaring reproduction or kopya lang ng isa pang dokumento. Indications of spuriousness o kung paano natin malalaman na ang isang dokumento or photocopy ay forged. At ito ay misaligned typing, different fonts and different font sizes, misaligned preprinted matter, incorrect vertical, horizontal, and margin spacing, shadowing in the joined areas, disproportionate area sizes, different preprinted material and ink densities, and missing proportions of writing or printing. Additionally, it may be that the trash marks surrounding the signature area in greater or lesser quantity than those on the remainder of the document. Ang tinatawag na trash marks ay yun yung gripper marks, patent defects, and dirt or yung dumi sa paligid or dun sa photocopy. The best indication of what may be a fraudulent photocopy is when the original document has disappeared or has been misplaced. Ang indikasyon daw na ang dokumento ay pineke o na-altered is kapag yung original document ay nawala, na-disappear or na-misplace. Even when none of these indications of photocopy forgery are present, the prudent document examiner that issues an opinion about the authenticity of a signature or an entire disputed document where the submitted evidence is photocopy will qualify that opinion. Kahit walang indication ng photocopy forgery, yung document examiner na nag-issue ng opinion at resulta ng authenticity o authenticity ng signature or any disputed document na submitted evidence as a photocopy, kailangan niyang i-qualify yung opinion na yon at yung resulta. Some examiners go further by including a statement in the report of findings that founds the accuracy of opinions involving photocopies upon viewing the original document prior to any court testimony. Yung iba daw na examiner, ini-include nila sa statement ng report of findings yung accuracy of opinions ng original document before na i-testify yon sa court. Examination of problems from photocopies. While it is possible to make examinations and report on problems of handwriting, signatures, typewriting, and other such matter from photocopy reproduction rather than the original documents, in most cases, the original is preferable for a variety of reasons. Most reports, verbal or written, based on studies utilizing copies, are rendered as qualified as certain evidence may be difficult from or possible to observe from this reproduction. Karamihan daw at kalimitan daw sa report na based sa studies utilizing copies na qualified na evidence is mahirap daw or imposible daw siya na ma-observe o ma-obserba. If examinations of questioned or disputed material must be made preliminary or exclusively from photocopies, it is important that the clearest reproduction be made available for such examination. The clearest copies are generally those which were made directly from the original. Copies from copies or multi-generation copies are increasingly less desirable as the number of generations increase. Kung examinations of questioned or any disputed material ay kailangan gawin o kailangan mag-examine preliminary or exclusively na galing sa mismo sa photocopies, mahalaga na yung reproduction is malinaw para sa gagawin na examinations. Microfiche tend to be of lesser quality than standard photocopies, oftentimes is advantageous to arrange or examination of the original microfilm on a viewing device. Sa reproduction from microfilm or microfiche daw, mas madalas na pumapangit at bumababa yung quality kesa sa mga standard photocopies. Pwede din siya na i-take advantage na maayos or ma-arrange at masuri yung original na microfilm sa viewing device. Depending on the quality of the original microfilm, such examinations can often allow observation of evidence which might not seen from microfilm reproduction. Depende daw sa quality o yung kalidad ng original microfilms, pero may examination na nag-aalaw na ng observation ng evidence dahil maaaring hindi daw nakikita sa microfilm reproductions. And other handwriting identification problems examined from photocopies allow examination of individual letter forms, connections between letters, and general appearance in many cases, but limit the ability of the forensic document examiner to observe evidence such as speed of execution, leaks of the writing instrument, pauses of the writing instrument, and other evidences. Typewriting identification problems examined from photocopies will in many cases not be greatly hindered. It is normally possible to identify the manufacturer and model of a machine. Other document problems are often hindered when examinations are made from photocopies rather than original documents. For instance, erasures and alterations are often impossible to observe and record from copy. Yung ibang document problems na ay kadalasang na hindered or nakakahadlang pag ang nag-examine o ini-examine ay galing sa photocopies sa halip na yung original document. For instance, yung mga erasure and alteration, yun yung mga kadalasan na imposible na ma-observe at ma-record kung di siya galing sa original na document. Examination of photocopies. The examination of photocopies has become an important part of the forensic document examiner's role. It is often possible to identify a particular manufacturer and model of photocopier from a single reproduction made from that machine. And posible daw na ma-identify o makilala ang isang particular na manufacturer at model ng photocopier mula sa single reproduction na ginawa sa machine na ginamit. The identification of an individual machine is made possible through the observation of defect which the reproduce on the resulting copies. The most common of these defects are called trash marks and are often the result of dust and dirt particles. Posible at pwedeng malaman kung kanino ang individual na machine sa pamamagitan ng pag-observe ng defects na galing sa resulting copies. The particles are seen as black specks on a copy and can enable identification of one copy with another if the size, shape, and groupings of these marks are comparable between two copies. Defects can also be the result of rollers and other parts of a particular machine. Yun, kagaya na sabi ko kanina, yung trash mark is yun yung defect or yun yung mga dumi. Kagaya ng nasa picture, yun yung example ng trash marks. The period of time that a particular copy was produced can also be identified in many cases. If specimen made from the same machine at around the same time can be obtained from comparison. Finally, while it is possible to create a fraudulent document utilizing a photocopier, often evidence of such preparation can be observed on copies. The pasting of a genuine signature from another document onto a document on which it never appeared on then copying the paste up can sometimes be detected from the resulting copy. Ayun, maaari din na ma-identify ang isang particular copy kung kailan niya na-produce o nagawa dahil sa na-detect yung resulting copy, yung naging resulta ng.
Okay pong continuation ng aming topic. Examination and identification of photocopies. The examination of photocopies has become an important part of the forensic document examine role. It is often possible to identify a particular manufacturer and model of photocopier from a single reproduction made from the machine. More often, and the more important in many problems, the identification of an individual machine possible. The identification of an individual machine is made through the observation of defects, which are reproduced on the resulting copies. The most common of these defects are called trash mark, and are more often the result of dust and dirt particles. These particles are seen as the black aspect on a copy and enable identification on one copy with another if the size, shape, and groupings of these marks are comparable between the two copies. Defects can also be the result of rollers and the other part of the particular machine. The period of time that particularly copy was produced can also be identified in many cases. If the specimen made from the same machine at the around of the same time can be obtained for comparison due to the fact that many case defects are temporary, such as dirt or dirt which is cleaned periodically. Defect configuration can help to establish time of reproduction. Finally, while it is possible to create a fraudulent document utilizing a photocopier, often evidence of such separation can be observed on copies. The pasting genuine signature from another document into a document on which it never appeared, and then photocopying the paste can sometimes be detected the resulting of copy. Question photocopies. One of the most common questions from the field involves photocopies of document. An investigator typically has a photocopy and needs to know if the writer of a signature on the photocopy can be identified. The question posted by investigator: do you examine these photocopies, or do I have to get the original? Contrary to popular belief, the laboratory will examine the photocopies of handwritten entries. We will examine anything do you send. The probability of getting answer you want is dependent upon the quality of the document or photocopy. In for examination, no copy, however it produced, is as good as the original. The ability of the examiner to render a definite opinion is significantly reduced by the loss of detail inherent in any copying process. There is another important limitation of photocopies that is often considered by the investigator and in the original with the copy. It cannot even establish that an original of the document ever existed. The qualified laboratory opinions are the result of the rapid improvements in office machine technology. For example, it is possible for a person to create a document electronically and authenticate by scanning onto it a signature which appears on a related document. Laser printers use the same imagining technology as photocopying machine. The bottom line is, don't send the lab photocopy if the original is available. If a photocopy is all you can get, send the best one available. If the original is in the hands of some agency which will not can get which will not release it. Attempt to obtain a certified photocopies. This will bolster the document in the court even if not held in the laboratory examination. Photocopies. Photocopies can sometimes be identified with the machine reproducing them if the exemplars and questions copies are relatively contemporaneous. The possible make and model of the photocopy machine can sometimes be determined by comparison with the reference file. Procedure for obtaining known photocopy exemplars. Obtain at least 10 exemplars with no document on the glass plate with cover down. Obtain at least 10 exemplars with no document on the glass plate with the cover it up. Obtain at least 10 exemplars with a document on the glass plate with the cover down. Record on each exemplars the date the exemplars were obtained, the name of the person who directed the exemplar, and the condition under which the exemplars were made. Record the make, model, and serial number of the photocopy machine. Information about the toner supplies and components, whether the paper supply is sheet or roll fed, and options such as color, reduction, enlargement, zoom, mask, trim, or editor board. Do not store the shipped photocopies in plastic envelopes. Photocopies and laser printers. Photocopies and laser printers are the same type of process to print a page. With the photocopier, the original document is placed on the glass of platen. The document is the exposed by use reflected lithogram is covered of photosynthetic material. The image of that document exists on the drum as an invisible positive photoelectric charge. Negative charge toner, messy black powder stuff, is drilled into the drum where sticks to only positively charged areas. Remember magnets? Opposite charge attract, same charge repel, to create a visible image. Paper with positive charge passes the drum, causes the negatively charged toner to transfer to the paper, creating the printed copy. With the laser printer, the image of the original document, held by the computer in its memory, is written to the photosynthesis by drum by use of a laser.
Procedures for obtaining known photocopy exemplars. Obtain at least 10 exemplars with no document on the glass plate with the cover down. Obtain at least 10 exemplars with no document on the glass plate with the cover up. Obtain at least 10 exemplars with a document on the glass plate with the cover down. Record on each exemplar the date the exemplars were obtained, the name of the person who directed the exemplars, and the condition under which the exemplars were made. Record the make, model, and serial number of the photocopy machine, information about the toner supplies and the components, whether the paper supply is sheet or rolled fed, and the options such as color, reduction, enlargement, zoom, mask, trim, or editor board. Do not store or ship photocopies in plastic envelope. Photocopies and laser printers. Photocopies and laser printers use the same type of process to print a page with a photocopier, and the original document is placed on the glass platen. The document is exposed by use of reflected light to a drum that is covered with a photosensitive material. The image of that document exists on the drum as an individual positive photoelectric charge. Negatively charged toner, the messy black powder stuff is drizzled onto the drum where it sticks to only the positive charge areas. Remember magnets, opposite charge attract, same charge repel to create a visible image. Ang mga photocopy at laser printer ay gumagamit ng parehong uri ng proseso upang mag-print ng isang pahina. Sa pamamagitan ng photocopier at original na dokumento inilalagay sa basong plated. Passes the drum, causing the negatively charged toner to transfer to the paper. The toner is then heat sealed to the paper, creating the printed copy with a laser printer. The image of the original document held by the computer in its memory is written to the photosensitive. There are many ways to match a page back to a photocopier or laser printer. Since, as shown above, the methods used to match a page back to its origin, printer or copier will also be similar. The paper itself can yield many clues. Look for marks from the bells, the pinchers, rollers, and gears, and physical move the paper through a machine. This examination will be similar to a tool mark examination discussed in the firearm page. Toner can have unique characteristic in its chemical composition. Also look at how the tone was placed on and fused to the paper. Toner may clamp up on the drum, transferring blobs or toner at a time to the printed page. Marks on the optics glass plate, lenses, mirrors used to transfer or create an image on paper might contain unique defects such as scratches that will render anomalous marking on the printed page.